Hey, what's up? I'm Fanboy Philly, and welcome to Fanboy Philly Reviews. Today's review is A Haunting in Venice, directed and starring Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot, which has been in theaters for about a month already and is now streaming. I've been a Hercule Poirot fan for years, and I've seen almost every movie or TV series made of the Agatha Christie detective. And I didn't know that this movie was even made and out in theaters until I saw an ad for it the other day. So as soon as saw it, I knew I wanted to do this as quickly as I could. When we begin the movie, we see a retired Hercule Poirot living a very private life in Venice, avoiding people seeking his help with the aid of his bodyguard, Vitali, played by Riccardo Scaramaccia, who played Santino D'Antonio from John Wick 2. Anyone who tries to approach Poirot is quickly dismissed by Vitali very quickly. When Poirot is at home on his roof, Vitali tells him a woman who says she's a friend of Poirot's has arrived and wants to talk to him. When Poirot says he has no friends, Vitali hands him an apple and Poirot knows who it is. Ariadne Oliver, the novelist who has based her books on Poirot, played by comedian and former SNL actor/writer Tina Fey in a dramatic role. She asks for help figuring out how a psychic medium is pulling off her supposed talents and expose her as a fraud. Begrudgingly, Poirot agrees and goes to the Halloween party, followed by a seance. At the party, we find out that the mansion where the party is held is haunted by the lost children of the local orphanage. The host of the party is Rowena Drake, whose daughter, Alicia, died by jumping off the roof, whom she hopes to contact in the seance. And we meet a couple of other guests too, Dr. Leslie Farmer and his son Leopold, the housekeeper Olga, and the former fiance of Rowena's daughter Alicia. Then we are introduced to Mrs. Reynolds, the psychic, played by Michelle Yeoh. As the seance begins, we see many weird, mysterious things happen. But Poirot figures out parts of the tricks and reveals that her assistants have been helping her fool the people all along. But there are things Poirot can't figure out. During the seance, Mrs. Reynolds goes into a trance and says that Alicia was pushed to her death, and that it wasn't an accident or a suicide. This is one of the things that cannot be explained away, especially when Mrs. Reynolds herself has been pushed off the balcony to her death, being impaled on a statue. Not too long after this, the doctor starts acting very strangely and is locked in a room to keep him safe until he starts feeling better, but is mysteriously found dead in that room later that is still locked. Poirot is soon on the case and begins interviewing everyone in the house and is slowly pulled from retirement. We find out that Leopold has the gift of seeing things that aren't visible to the other to a psychic degree. The mystery takes us on several twists and turns, and we see seemingly supernatural things happen that also cannot be explained. Now, seeing Tina Fey play Ariadne Oliver was interesting, as we're not used to seeing her in the dramatic role, but she pulled it off as a foil to Poirot in the movie, especially when we see the role progress through the story. Dr. Farmer is played by Jamie Dornan, who plays Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey, and he also was the Black Knight/Sheriff in Once Upon a Time. He portrays the character with a deep characterization and a haunting that really brings out the melancholiness of his part of the story. Even though this is a serious mystery, we see a few special effects that serve as a jump scare moment that even Poirot cannot admit to understand. As I said, I've watched almost every adaptation of the Poirot stories, and I find myself comparing the performances of each actor who has played Hercule Poirot. And even though I find Branagh to be a good Poirot, no one has ever come close to the performance of David Suchet, who starred in the TV series adapted from the books. Other actors have played Poirot, such as Albert Finney, Peter Ustinov, Alfred Molina. But in my opinion, none of them stand up to David Suchet, with Branagh coming in second. The film was also directed by Branagh, who takes his adaptation in a darker field than the other Poirot stories. And that sets him apart. This movie was the better of the three Poirot movies that Branagh has brought to us, even though the story of Murder on the Orient Express has always been my favorite Poirot story. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell to be notified whenever a new video is posted. And as always, be good to yourself and take care of the ones you love. And I'll see you later.